Hello children, in this class today we are going to do integration, which is a difficult point for students. In fact, they always keep complaining about not being able to understand integration. So we will start integration. We will be discussing all the methods one by one, and if you have any difficulty you can leave it in the comment box. Make sure you understand all the concepts. So we will start with the very basics. Integration. What is integration? In fact, children, integration is the reverse process of differentiation. For example, suppose I am writing derivative of fx plus c gives g of x, meaning I am differentiating fx plus c is a constant and I am getting gx. For example, suppose I say derivative of sin x plus c will be how much? Cos x. Why? Because derivative of constant is how much? 0. Same thing, fx is sin x, c of course is c, the constant, and gx is what we get after differentiating, that is derivative of sin x plus c is cos x. Similarly, derivative of fx plus c is gx. C is a constant whose derivative will become how much? 0. Okay. Now, the reverse process of the first statement will be integration of fx gx with respect to x. Integration of gx with respect to x will be fx plus c. So, this becomes integration, and that curved snake like symbol which you are seeing is called sign of integration. So, we will be reading integral of gx with respect to x is fx plus c. For example, when I look at the second one, derivative of fx, that is sin x plus c is equal to cos x. Now, if I want to write as integral, I will be writing integral of cos x respect to x is equal to sin x plus c. Now, the c is very crucial. In fact, you have to write c every time. C is called constant of integration. C is called constant of integration. So, to begin with, we have indefinite integrals where the answer is left in terms of x. We will not be substituting the values of x. So, if I leave the answer in terms of x, I will be calling it what? Indefinite integral. And always keep in mind, there is another term we call integrand. The function you want to integrate is called integrand. So, you should be doing this. Okay. So, we can classify integrals into two types. First one is indefinite integral. So, what is indefinite integral? In this integral, the answer will be left in terms of x. Like suppose I am writing integration of sin x respect to x is equal to minus cos x plus c. So, you see our integrand is a function of x. Answer also comes in terms of x. X can take any real values. We are not specifying the values of x. Similarly, I can generalize integration of gx with respect to x gives fx plus c. This is general way of writing. So, whenever we leave the answer in terms of x, the integral is called indefinite integral. X can take any values. However, suppose you specify that x can take only values between a to b. So, if I say x can take values between a to b, is very important. X can take values between a to b, means I am not going to leave the value in terms of x, I have to leave the values in terms of a and b, or you can write like this, or x belongs to closed interval a b. So, the moment, see here I am not set any limits for x, I am not set any values for x, but the moment I specify the values of x, it becomes a definite integral. It becomes what? A definite integral. Let's try to understand it. So what is definite integral? Definite integral is the one in which x can take values only within a certain specified limit, and then I'll be writing integral of gx with respect to x, and then I'll be writing from a to b. Remember, a is the lower limit and b is the what? Upper limit. So what we do is integration of gx is fx plus c. So obviously I am going to evaluate fx plus c from a to b, from a to b. Now what I'll do is, how will I evaluate? I'll first put the upper value. What will I do? I'll put the upper value. So if I put upper value, what do I get? fb plus c, and then I'll put minus sign, and then I'll put the lower value of x. If I put the lower value of x, what do I get? fa plus c. If you open the bracket, c and c are cancelling. So what will I get? I'll get fb minus fa. So here is what we get, a straight formula that you can use. Integration of fx with respect to x from a to b will be fb minus fa. So this is definite integral. For example, suppose I ask you to evaluate x to the power 2 with respect to x from 1 to 3. So what I'll do first? I'll integrate x square. And when you are dealing with definite integral, it is not necessary to write c, because c eventually gets cancelled. So you can directly put the values. Now integration of x square is x cube by 3. I'll substitute the limits from 1 to 3. And then what do we do, children? We first set up the upper value. So I'll be putting x is equal to 3. So it will be 3 cube by 3 minus, I'll be putting the lower value, that is 1 cube by 3. So LCM is 3. 3 cube is 27 minus 1, that is 26 by 3. So we can very easily evaluate an integral if the limits are specified, and then of course there will be so many properties that will be coming across. So children, we understood that there are two types of integrals. One is indefinite, where the answer left in terms of x, this is indefinite, and then you have definite, where the answer is left in terms of specified limits a and b. Now once you understand it, then we will go for revision of the basic integrals, that is standard integrals, and then of course we will be discussing the advanced level and the methods of integration. Okay, let's do that. Now children, once you have done this, then we will be seeing some important antiderivatives, and then so to begin with, we understand that integration is basically an antiderivative. Okay, antiderivative, just the reverse process of differentiation. So we will see some standard integrals, but I will not be writing these standard integrals directly. What will I do is, I will be writing the derivative and then the corresponding integral. So it will be easier for you to understand it. For example, derivative of x to the power n plus 1 with respect to x will be n plus 1 into x to the power n. Clear? Now if I want to write its antiderivative, so I will be writing integration of x to the power n with respect to x is x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, and don't forget to write c. Every time you have to write c, right? Whenever I have to leave my answer in terms of x, it becomes indefinite integral, and when it's an indefinite integral, don't forget to write c. C is important. And remember children, here in this formula, n will not be equal to minus 1. N will not be equal to minus 1. Keep in mind. Okay. Now let's see the second important antiderivative. Derivative of sin x plus c. Derivative of sin x plus c is cos c. I can tell you that if you follow this step, my teaching, you will find integration become very easy. all the series that we have on integration, we follow all the series, integration will become very easy, whether it's a JE level, main advanced both, or whether it is at the board level, it will become very easy. We will be discussing all the techniques which are required. So, its antiderivative will be integration of sin x plus c, integration of cos x will be sin x plus c, integration of cos x will be sin x plus c, derivative of sin x plus c is cos x, integration is the opposite process, so integration of cos x will be sin x plus c. Now, third one, derivative of cos x plus c. In fact, c I will not be writing every time. It is for you to remember that indefinite integrals have to write always c. So, integration of sin x will be, children, minus cos x plus c. Now, this is factual. Integration of cos is sin and sin is minus cos. It's just the opposite of differentiation. Number 4, derivative of tan x plus c will be equal to sec square x. So, integration of sec square x will be how much? Tan x plus c. Derivative of cot x plus c gives minus cos x square x. So, integration of cos x square x will be minus cot x plus c. In fact, we are just writing the standard antiderivatives which I have already done in differentiation chapter. 6, derivative of sec x plus c will be equal to sec x tan x. So, integration of sec x tan x with respect to x will be sec x plus c. Now, once you understood this, then children will be saying derivative of cosec x plus c, that is minus cosec x cot x. So, if you are doing integration of cosec x into cot x will be minus cosec x plus c. In the standard formula, we will not be writing minus this side, we will make this plus, so negative sign will change, will come here, will be shifting, minus c is not written, we will be writing plus c only. Okay. Now, number 8, derivative of log x plus c is 1 by x. So, integration of 1 by x is log x plus c. Make sure you are understanding these formulas. Okay. Number 9, we have derivative of e to the power x exponential is equal to e to the power x. I will be writing c also because we are used to writing c. So, integration of e to the power x will be e to the power x plus c. Clear? Now, we have number 10, derivative of a to the power x is a to the power x log a. So, what will be its integral? Integration of a to the power x with respect to x is equal to a to the power x divided by log a plus c. Clear? Now, number 11, we also have done the derivative of inverse circular functions. We have derivative of sin inverse x with respect to x is equal to 1 by root over 1 minus x square. You can write c here, due to lack of space I am not writing, you can write c. Integration of 1 by root 1 minus x square will be sin inverse x plus c. Clear? Otherwise, minus cos inverse x plus c also you can write. Okay, actually it is pi by 2 minus cos inverse x plus c, but pi by 2 why don't we write? Because c is a symbolic constant, pi by 2 plus c will also be c. Okay. Now let's see some more antiderivatives which have done. Okay, now similarly we have number 12, derivative of tan inverse x with respect to x is how much here? 1 upon 1 plus x square. So integration of 1 upon 1 plus x square with respect to x will be equal to tan inverse x plus c. And if you do not want to write tan inverse, you want to write it cot inverse, so it will be minus cot inverse x plus c. Similarly, we have derivatives of sec inverse x with respect to x is 1 upon x root over x square minus 1. So integration of 1 upon x root over x square minus 1 will be equal to sec inverse x plus c or minus cosec inverse x plus c. Clear? So these are some of the important inverse circular functions that we will be using. So children, we understood some basic integrals, and these basic integrals are antiderivatives of what you have already learnt. Now once you have understood this, then we are discussing methods of integration, but before that two three theorems also we will be seeing, and then once you understand it, then we will be doing the methods of integration. Okay. Okay. Now children, we will be seeing some theorems on integration. 2-3 basic theorems. And then we have theorems on integration. First one is that integration of u plus minus v plus minus w means if a number of functions are added together or subtracted together and I am integrating, so that will be equal to integration of u plus minus integration of v plus minus integration of w, and it will go on. This is the first theorem which is important for you. Meaning, if an integrand had many terms added or subtracted together, then the net integral will be equal to the what? Sum or difference of individual integrals. For example, suppose I say, for example, integration of e to the power x plus x cube minus log x minus 1 by x with respect to x. Suppose I give this integration. So the theorem says sums are added and subtracted. So that will be equal to integration of e to the power x plus integration of x cube minus integration of 1 by x. Integration of e to the power x is what? E to the power x cube is x to the power 4 by 4, and integration of 1 by x is log x, and then in the end what will you write? Plus c. Clear? So this is the first theorem that you have to remember, that if an integrand consists of many terms, then we will integrate individual terms. If it is plus, then plus, minus, then minus. Okay. Let us see number 2. Number 2 is equation of constant, theorem on constant, k into fx, integration of k into fx. K is a number, is a constant, and k will be taken out as common, k into integration of fx with respect to x, and in the end we will be writing c for this. Okay. This is the second theorem and this is the first theorem. For example, suppose I am writing integration of 5x cube with respect to x. So phi is what? Phi is a number, it comes out as a constant. So 5 integration of x cube will be 5 x to the power 4 by 4 plus c. So every time you have an integrand multiplied or divided by number, then that number will be taken out as common. Okay. So from here k has to be taken out as common, and the third one is integration of dx is equal to x. Right? How? because dx is basically integration of 1 with respect to x and 1 is x to the power 0. So n becomes how much? 0. X to the power 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 1. So what do you get? You get x plus c. Very important. So integration of dx is equal to x. For example, suppose I say 4 dx. So 4 comes out dx and this dx integration is x. So what will I get? 4x, and then I will be writing c. Clear? So children, here we understood these very basic theorems on integration, right? Now we will understand what are the methods of integration actually, methods of integration. Now we will be doing methods of integration, which is important topic, and what we discussed till now are the very basic things that you are supposed to have done in the beginning of this chapter in your class. Integration is, believe me, very easy. Don't be scared of it. You should understand the basics. Once the basics are strong, you can crack any problem. We'll start with methods of integration. Methods of integration. There are, children, many methods of integration. First one is by simple decomposition. By simple decomposition. This term decomposition means we will break open the given expression and we will simplify it, and then we will integrate every single term. Clear? This is the first method we are going to discuss, by simple decomposition. Now see, suppose I ask you, integrate, first one is x to the power 4 plus 1 whole square divided by x cube, or maybe I will put some irrational powers, like I can say x to the power half, or I can say root x plus 2 fifth root of x divided by cube root of x, something like this. Yes, this looks like a very complicated integration, but it's nothing, it's 0, it's very easy. Suppose I ask you to integrate 1 upon sin square x cos square x with respect to x. So in all this, in fact, children, we need to simplify. We need to simplify and then we need to proceed. And the simplification will make it very easy. Let's take the first integral. Our first integral is x to the power 4 plus 1 whole square divided by x cube. So children, in this sum, we are just going to simplify. In decomposition method, what we'll do? We'll simplify the given expression. What is obvious to me? What is obvious to me is that this is a plus b whole square, right? So I'll square it. If I square it, what do I get? X to the power 8 plus 2x to the power 4 plus 1 divided by x cube. And then I'm decomposing. Decomposing means I'm simplifying it. I'm breaking down every term. So I can write this as x to the power 8 by x cube plus 2 x to the power 4 by x cube plus 1 by x cube. Can I write like this? Can I write like this? If we divide x to the power 8 by x to the power 3, what do we get? X to the power 5 plus 2x, and take this x cube in numerator, x to the power minus 3. So what do you get? X to the power 5 plus 1. Now this is very easy. X to the power n formula I will be using. X to the power 5 plus 1, that is 6 divided by 6 plus 2x to the power is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2 by 2. X to the power minus 3 plus 1, minus 2 divided by minus 3 plus 1, that is 3 minus 2. Yes. So what do you get here? These two cancel out. So I get x to the power 6 by 6 plus x square minus 1 by 2 x square, and don't forget to write c. It is clear? Clear how it is done? Okay. Now let's go for the next sum. If they will give you any sum like this, we have having irrational roots, then you will always transfer them into powers. Yes? This is square root, so I can write this as now x to the power half plus 2 x to the power 1 by 5 divided by x to the power 1 by 3. Can we write like this? Can we write like this? X to the power half plus 2 x to the power 1 by 5, because fifth root is there, cube root is x to the power 1 by 3. So I can write this as x to the power 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 plus 2 x to the power 1 by 5 minus 1 by 3, and I am going to integrate it, the whole thing again. Now we will take LCM here. LCM is 6, 3 minus 2, that is 1, plus 2, take LCM, 15, and then 3 minus 5 is minus 2. Until then, I just need to integrate this whole thing. Easy to integrate now? Now I can use simple decomposition on this. That is, I have simplified integration of x to the power half 1 by 6 plus 2 x to the power minus 2 by 15. So if I integrate, what will I get, children? I will be getting integration of x to the power 1 by 6 with respect to x plus 2 comes out, x to the power minus 2 by 15 with respect to x. So again, it is very easy to integrate. I am going to use x to the power n formula. N here is how much of 1 by 6. So what do I get? X to the power 1 by 6 plus 1 divided by 1 by 6 plus 1 plus 2 x to the power minus 2 by 15 plus 1 divided by minus 2 by 15 plus 1. So what do you get here? X to the power 7 by 6 divided by 7 by 6 plus 2 into x to the power 13 by 15 divided by 13 by 15 plus c. Clear? So the simple decomposition is an important way to integrate, right? You can easily integrate by using simple decomposition. Now children, once you have understood this, in fact in case of algebraic integrands, in case of algebraic terms, you don't have to really work much on it, because you can just simplify, right? Now if it is a trigonometric one, like the third sum, so there we need to think how we can actually bring it to a more simplified form, which will make it easier for us to integrate. Okay? So start thinking now what we can do. I think you guessed it right. I will do something about the numerator, and the numerator is 1. Okay? So when I am integrating 1 upon sin square x cos square x, in fact I will be writing, put 1 is equal to sin square x plus cos square x, and you will find it will become very smooth, it will become very easy if I put 1 is equal to sin square x plus cos square x. So this becomes sin square x plus cos square x divided by sin square x cos square x with respect to x. So I will split into two parts. It will be sin square x divided by sin square x cos square x plus cos square x divided by sin square x cos square x, and I am going to integrate this with respect to x. Clear? So what trick I used? I replace x by sin square x plus cos square x. This is to be noted by you. Note this step. Okay? And then I cancel out sin square x and I cancel out cos square x. So it will be integration of 1 by cos square x plus integration of 1 by sin square x. Integration of 1 by cos square x is what? Sec square x, and this is cos x square x. So it becomes, this is tan x minus cosec x plus c. Clear? So this is very easy and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Okay.